Gary Kessel at the National Wrestling Hall of Fame, Honors Weekend. Hey, they're putting you in as one of the top officials in the world. Talk about what you heard and what you felt when they called and said, you know, they'd like to induct you as a Meritorious official this year.
Oh, I'm so excited to be, because I started off in wrestling, so, and as a wrestler, you obviously want to be a state champ, you want to be a national champ, and then obviously you dream about the Olympics. I remember when I was getting into wrestling, the '72 Olympics were on, and it was Gable and Wells.
Oh yeah,
great girl. And my wife now, my father-in-law was on the Olympic team, so he took his family to the '72 Olympics. So when I met my wife, when we were dating, I said, you were at the '72 Olympics, you saw Gable, you saw Wells, I'm listening to all these people. She says to me, if they wrestled, we saw them. So I'm so excited. So for me, I didn't meet those goals as a wrestler, but I found a way to stay involved in this sport for the last 50 years, and that was through officiating. So the sport has given me so much, and for me to be here at this level, as a wrestler, I was good enough to make my high school Hall of Fame. I was good enough at East Stroudsburg to make my college Hall of Fame. But to be here and be in a class with the people who reach the goals of Olympic gold medalists and Nancy Schultz and Randy Coulter, for me to be with those people, it's just hard to believe. It's hard to believe. For me, it was it's an honor for me to be involved in this sport, and now to be honored is over the top.
Yeah, as an athlete, you learned about hard work and technique and training, and obviously that applies specifically to being an official, right? Did you like that aspect of it, that you had to continually learn to get better?
Absolutely, and I say to people, I see people, like in high school, my goal was to officiate the state finals. Yep. And I've seen a lot of people get there, and then they think that's it. And I tell them, I said, listen, if you think that you can't get any better at officiating this sport, get out. Yeah. Because I work hard every year. The sport is always changing. You have to work out physically. You have to work out mentally. The sport is ever changing, and if you think you've got it figured out, you're wrong. So if you don't want to keep getting better, then you should get out. Obviously the sport to wrestle, you had to work so hard. You had to do the same thing if you want to be involved in it, because you're out there with these phenomenal athletes. I officiate Cale Sanderson and Burroughs. If you're not in, obviously you're not in their shape, but if you're not, you're going to miss what's going on. So you have to work hard at this sport, and in fairness to them, for what they're putting into it, you should be putting the best you can in, so you can do the best job you can.
As an athlete, you get some anticipation, you get butterflies and things. You're coaching a major, you're refereeing a major event in the finals of the NCAA tournament, or one of the major events that you're there, and it's a big one, and it really matters to the wrestling community, and you're the one that's going to call it. Do you get kind of...
The hardest thing I used to do every year would be the national tournament.
Yeah.
Walking up on that platform for the finals is 10 times harder than anything, because you know what they've put in, and in front of everybody. The wrestling world is watching, the wrestling fans are watching. The last thing you want to do is to blow a call and make a mistake, in fairness to the people. And you know it happens. It happens. Everybody says, oh, don't make a mistake. I'm going to make a mistake. Sure. We're all going to make mistakes. It just happens. It happens at all sports. My goal is, when it happens, it doesn't, God forbid, it costs somebody a match, a major, or has an impact. And sometimes it does. And I like the video review, because we get it right. So I think that's helped. It takes away a little bit, because it's such a conditioning sport. You need that time to get it right. Mm-hmm. But our goal is to try to get it right. And I think we have to work hard at that, in fairness to the athletes that are phenomenal athletes, putting in, what they put in for this sport.
So how would you describe your style of refereeing? Everyone says a good ref, you don't even know they're there, but really, you've got to be able to go out there with a demeanor to be good, right?
You have to take charge. You have to take charge. But you're right. My goal is to be unnoticed. Coaches, they don't think about the officials. The only time we get noticed is if we messed up. So if I got noticed, something went wrong. They're expecting everything to be right, and when it's not, then the attention goes to you. Right. So I don't want to be noticed, but I need to take charge, and I got to control them. My goal as an official is to make sure that those two guys decide who wins the match. That's my job. My job is to make sure they decide who wins the match, and I prepare the best I can for that.
You got friends, family out here this week?
I
mean,
do. I have, I have my friends, my family. I have two of my teammates. I ended up going right into coaching. My senior year, East Stroudsburg went Division I when the whole Pennsylvania Conference went Division I. When Division II and III were terminating tournaments where you couldn't advance, the whole conference went to Division I. Yeah. So my senior year, I got to wrestle Division I. And then two of the kids that were my teammates, one was a freshman, one was a sophomore, very good. I ended up coaching them for 2 and 3 years. Those two guys are out here, and I was a teammate with them. I was their coach. One guy's he became a principal. He got his PhD, and I have to laugh when I have to call him Dr. Gregory Shoemaker. Yeah. And my other brother, Jimmy Vargo, he worked at the Pentagon, and these guys took time out of their life to come out here to share this with me. And of course my family's here, and so when it's all said and done, I think I'm successful because of wrestling in my business and my family. But if you don't have family and friends to share it with, where are you going? That's what it's all about.
Well, hey, we know that this is well deserved. You put in a lot of time. I mean, do you feel that you're reffing as well as you've done in the past? You get better every year? Is that a goal?
It is a goal, and I actually retired from the NCAAs at the Madison Square Garden. Right. Not because I wanted to. I just thought it was time. Right. I saw video of some old officiating, and I obviously don't move like I used to move 20 years ago. Yeah. But I think I'm a lot smarter, and I anticipate very well, and especially at the college levels, because those kids, they go where they're supposed to go. So I anticipate, and I never stop moving because I'm not as quick as I should be. So I'm always hopefully heading in the right direction. So I do work. I still do some high school fishing because I love the sport and I want to be part of it. But it's funny, for my last 5 years, I was the oldest guy at the NCAAs, and there's all these young guys coming up who are working their butts off to get to the finals and do that, and they're looking around like, who's the next guy that's going to go? And I was like, you know what? I've had my time. I want to go out while I'm still calling finals, and so I retired, but I still love it, and I try to stay involved.
Well, hey, congratulations, Gary. It's a great honor, and hopefully you have a great weekend here. It's going to be a great group of people you're here with.
Oh my gosh, Olympians, and it's so exciting. I'm so excited, and my family's here to share it with me. It's awesome.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.